Roman Catholic Church, the U.S. democracy corporations, slaveholders, and the international bankers together adjusted fundamental rules of trade and commerce into the Uniform Commercial Codes to hide a debt that they created. And then trying to say that you owe the debt, and then they want you to make a contract to expunge the alleged debt, which would then therefore have them a present case contract by which to come at you later. So be careful with the UCCs. Study well. Whenever you're studying UCCs, remember this. Ultimately, they'll say to you, oh yeah, naturalize. But that's for an alien being adopted into a political order and given clothed with the rights and privileges of citizenship. Clothed with it. Nationalization is where a legitimate nation reclaims its own. This is why Noble Drawley nationalized you. Now, understand this. Any contract that you may have or that you may have made allegedly or otherwise, whether it's linear, implied, etc., is in its nature void if it's missing the essence of honor, if it's vague in any form, if one of the party members is a minority, a minor, an infant, operating not with free will, if it has no substance, and if you're not a real signator to it. So when the Europeans be telling these people that your mother sold you with a birth certificate and a driver's license, a marriage license, Social Security, and thereby bound you to a debt that he created, that is called, in law, void ab initio. All right? Write that down. Keep this in mind. If a debt exists, if an obligation exists, then a contract must exist. Do you understand? Now let's back up and let's get real. Most of you have been studying, so we don't have to beat the horse. Islam is I, self, law, and master. That's an acronym. Creed is just doing rituals to remind you of disciplines. But science is knowing what you're talking about. Do you understand? The divine order from your maker is the law is you. This is the reason why whenever you deal with a contract or whenever you're dealing with any litigation whatsoever, they'll say to you, your left sneak is tied to your right sneak. Do you understand? Because they're really asking you for permission to agree to them having a jurisdiction. Do you understand? Jurisdiction means power and power of attorney. These are keys. So whenever anyone claims a debt or an obligation to you, your job, and this deals with both abstracts and realities, real property, etc., you're supposed to say, keep this in mind, learn and study. Where's the contract? Produce it and introduce it into evidence before we discuss anything else. If you are in a legal process under a writ in the nature of discovery, demand that all parties produce the contract. When you go to court, and like say they, how many of you know that tickets are contracts? They're suits, all right? So say you go to court, they give you a traffic ticket, parking ticket, right? And they want to give you surcharges and a whole bunch of other stuff like that, right? What you're supposed to do is ask that judge for the prosecutor or whoever the municipality is to make that claim. There's an oath of ethics that judge takes to protect your right to due process. You go get a copy of that and you take that with you. And you remind him of his obligation that municipal corporation is suing you but denying you due process, and that instrument is not prosecutable for lack of due process, therefore disclaiming itself, its existence, as non-prosecutable, because it violates his oath and it violates legal procedures. How can somebody sue you, levy a fine against you, you're not questioning your accuser, and it's based on a contract that steals a right that already belongs to you and sold back to you under a privilege? You got to understand this. So you say to that judge, Freddie over here is claiming that I owe them something for parking somewhere. Well, the Supreme Court said that he can't do that. Didn't you know that? Don't you have an oath? See, they're trying to talk about something and say, well, let's not go there. Let's talk about what your obligation is. Get the courage to stand for your right. Because for an obligation to exist, a contract must exist. Because that's what makes the law. Because the law begins with you. You are the law. That's divine and is inalienable. That is related to the birthright that Noble Drew Ali talks to you about. But you need to learn what it really means politically also, so it can function. What good is it to give you information that you can go, that you can't go someplace and function with? You don't need to be here to feel good. We have issues, real issues. You need things that work. Knowledge works. Emotions does not. It just gets the psychiatrist paid and sell some aspirins for somebody. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and we have to come into this new age. Aquarius is here, Uranus is at work, and Saturn is too. So you may as well get used to it, because everything else is going out the door. Whether you like it or not, it's irrelevant. This is the time that the Nazarene told you about. It's new era times. It's time that Drew Ali told you about. New era time. The people coming into conscience now is coming with their eyes open. So all the leaders ain't going to keep getting away with fooling them no more and living off them either. And just like the Nazarene went and turned over the table, the money of the money changers, the table, and he was only 12 years old, guess what? It's being done again, so you can chalk that stuff up. So at the same time, you're going to see a lot of people that's going to get mad because this information is getting to you. They know it, but they ain't been talking to you. You understand? They would love to block this because they want to keep you in belief when you're supposed to rise above faith and come to fruition. You and the truth are one. What good is knowledge if you can't apply it? Keep that in mind. And don't feel guilty for learning. Truth needs no apology, but understand there will be resistance. All right? This is your basis in law upon which you contest any contract and any claims made against you. Now, as far as the